Hi everyone! Today we're going to be talking about these three movies: Transformers: The Last Knight, Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and Insidious: The Last Key. We're going to be talking about how it's the same symbolism repeated over and over again in all of these movies, meaning the symbolism of the end times of the Bible. And it's the same thing being the same things being repeated over and over again and being represented. So first of all, let's take a look at this poster. You see the creature known as Keyface represents Satan. Just like when Satan puts the key in the lock to open the abyss. Now, for those who don't know, the abyss is basically hell. And you see, it's got to do with this word last, meaning final, like the end of days, Armageddon. So, Last Jedi, Last Night, and Last Key. Even there's this location in the Insidious The Last Key film called Five Keys. That five has got to do with the fifth age of the Bible coming. When the fifth angel, known as Satan, shows up. And basically, this movie starts off in the year 1953. So that 50 has got to do with the five, like the fifth age. So, also, the film starts off in New Mexico, and that is where most of the film is set. And that links with UFOs and Area 51 because, of course, Area 51 is in Roswell, New Mexico. So, we have Mark Wahlberg, The Last Knight, and we have Mark Hamill, The Last Jedi. So, Mark Wahlberg and Mark Hamill, they are both the Jesus characters. Just like Luke Skywalker and Cade Yeager are both the Jesus characters. Because, remember, Jedis, they are known as Jedi Knights. See, just like in this Transformers film, it says Knight. And the whole Stonehenge thing, that links with the Doctor Who episode, The Pandora Opens. There's Bumblebee coming for the Golden Age, that's why he's yellow. Some people would argue that he's gold, but there we go. I think, well, in the original cartoons he was yellow, but maybe he's kind of more gold in the movies, I guess. So, this Vivian Wembley character represents the Revelation 12 woman known as Mother Earth. And then, I guess this rich guy represents Freemasons, just like your Bruce Wayne character. And, see, these Transformers are for robots rising up in real life and stealing people's jobs. You see, like, it all links back to that I, Robot film of Will Smith. See, Optimus has red and blue on him. So that's like blending the iron with the clay, blending the evil with the good. Because it's the blue of Jesus with the red of Satan. So, now, we have this one actress called Spencer Locke. See, her last name is Locke, just like keys go in locks, don't they? Going back to this, see? So it's so this Spencer Locke actress represents the Revelation 12 woman. Just like Rey and Leia in Last Jedi, and just like Vivian in Transformers. You can even say that Rose and Amelin Holdo represent the Rev 12 women as well. When Amelin Holdo dies, that represents like when the Rev 12 woman ascends into heaven. So Spencer Locke, the character that she plays in Insidious: The Last Key, represents the Rev 12 woman. Just like the character who she plays in the Resident Evil movies, she's called Kmart. She also represents the Rev 12 woman. You see how she's like the Alice in Wonderland character with her blonde hair, see? And she's wearing white for heaven. So, another person, well, more people who represent the Rev 12 woman. These two Lindsays from Hollyoaks are wearing blue for Jesus, see? And then, another person who represents the Rev 12 woman, Jane Foster from Marvel. See how she's a nurse? See how they're nurses as well, see? Just like in the Insidious movie, this one right here, basically, there was a nurse in this movie that was chained up. So I guess that could be linked to the Mummy being chained up in the Mummy movie with Tom Cruise. So you see like the 5 keys coming out of this creature's fingers. Remember, just like 5 keys here, see? So, I was kind of disappointed that apparently Insidious: The Last Key is going to be the last Insidious movie. I really hope they reconsider and make more sequels, because I would like to see like more sequels focusing on this character right here and her sister, whose name is Imogen. Now, Imogen seems to have the same gift that Elise Rayner has. Now, Elise Rayner is basically the old woman who's the main character in Insidious: The Last Key. So, it really wouldn't surprise me if they made a sequel to Insidious: The Last Key, and it turns out that this character has the gift too. That would be awesome. So, here's the Elise Rayner character that I was talking about, and she also represents the Rev 12 woman, just like her mother does as well. And so basically, her father in the movie, who represents Jesus, he was being possessed by the Satan character, Keyface. So he was like forcing him to do loads of satanic acts, like beat Elise and stuff like that. Like, but in the end, like, her father fights against the Satan character. So, basically, right, her father in the movie, he has some crutches, and basically, he represents just like that bloke in Agent Carter who has a crutch. I'll give you a prime example of how this stuff is in your face 24/7. Right. Before the movie started, they played some trailers, and one of the trailers was for 50 Shades Freed. Now, of course, the 50 in 50 Shades Freed, that's got to do with the fifth age. Going back to this thing with the 5 keys. The 5, the 50, it all means the same thing. Like, So, you know, remember, there's a character in 50 Shades called Christian. Just like Elise's brother in Insidious The Last Key is also called Christian. So all of these films have got to do with the Christians. Like, even The Last Jedi has got to do with Christians. Because Jedi represent Christians, and then Luke represents the leader of Christianity, Jesus, or God, if you like. So, people say, oh, Jedi are more like Buddhists, but think of that what you will. Like, see the blue for Jesus, the red for Satan on the lightsabers there. Here comes Satan, Kylo Ren. Here comes the heavenly woman, Rey. See both of these sides against each other, pitted against each other. Like, I don't know why Poe's over this side. That's quite weird. Because he's with the evil people, like Phasma and Hux and the Praetorian Guards and Kylo. So, December 15th release date for The Last Jedi. The 15 for the Fifth Age, see? This is Transformers 5 for the Fifth Age. See, red and blue on Optimus, just like the red and blue there, see? Represents the same thing, blends in the iron with the clay. Kylo, the iron. Rey, the clay. Just like Iron Man, the iron. Captain America, the clay. That's how it goes. Through there. We have Mark Hamill. We have Mark Wahlberg. We also have Mark in the Bible. And we also have Mark, because, like, the Grox one's real name is Mark. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure the release date for Insidious The Last Key in the USA was January 5th, again, for the Fifth Age. So, you see how, like, repetitive this all is. But you see, like, sometimes this symbolism can be close together, but other times it can be far apart. Like, that's how they catch you. That's how they catch you out. Because sometimes you see it coming, but other times you don't. See, that's where the fear comes into it, the fear factor. Like, I'll show you a prime example of how sometimes the symbolism can be close together. This film, The Last Jedi, came out in December. This Insidious film came out the following month in January. And it's showing the exact same symbolism. But they aim these films at slightly different target audiences so that they can brainwash as many people as possible with this same gubbins. Guy called Specs in the Insidious movies, his real name is Stephen, just like you have Stephen King, who wrote the novel It, and that is why in 2017 that It film came out. It's just like you have Stephen Mulhern as well. Remember, Stephen King's It represents the Illuminati clown.